Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Well, after some very vocal opposition, Richmond Council has voted to explore the possibility of a supervised drug consumption site. We'll speak with Richmond Mayor Malcolm Brodie on the division in his community. And are finances putting a strain on your Valentines? How do you talk about money with your partner? We'll talk about that coming up. And after 12:30, here's something that's pretty cheap: cooking a romantic meal together. Chef Des will be here with some delicious ideas. I'm Michelle Eliot. Welcome to BC Today. Thank you for joining us on CBC Radio 1, CBC Television, and live streaming on the CBC News app, cbc.ca/BC, and on the CBC Vancouver YouTube page. Well, there has been heated division in Richmond over a possible supervised drug consumption site. Two councillors put forward a motion to take such steps towards such a site, like ask Vancouver Coastal Health to explore the idea. The motion has drawn vocal opposition, including a petition with thousands of signatures and loud protests at Richmond City Council meetings over the last 2 nights. Cash Heed was one of the councillors behind the motion, and last night he was frequently interrupted. Here he is responding to protesters and getting heckled.
The metaphors you use, yes, we've heard all those metaphors before off the internet. But I can tell you...
Meanwhile, Richmond Mayor Malcolm Brodie had to intervene a number of times.
This is not some kind of a theater or a carnival. This is a very solemn occasion where we are making important discussions and decisions for the city. And I can tell you that I've been doing this since the mid-90s, and that is the first time I've had that kind of a reaction.
The motion to evaluate the potential benefits and challenges of a supervised consumption site passed last night, with 7 councillors in favour and 2 councillors, Chak Au and Alexa Liu, opposed. Joining me now is Richmond Mayor Malcolm Brodie. Good afternoon, Mayor.
Good afternoon, Michelle.
We've seen the footage over the last couple of nights. We've heard the chanting and the shouting. What did things look like to you from where you were sitting in the mayor's chair?
It was a heated debate, to say the very least. Very strongly held viewpoints on both sides. I know that the city councillors and I were doing everything we could to make sure that we were listening to the expressions from both sides of the coin. At times it got a little unruly is too strong a word, but a little free, shall we say. And so we had to have a few words at various times. But in any case, we were able to keep it under control, and we moved forward perceptibly to a conclusion last night.
Okay, but you did sound quite frustrated in that clip there. You know, how many times did you need to jump in, and why did you feel the need to?
Well, that clip was from the very beginning of the proceedings, where people had come into the council chambers and they were leading chants and generally making a lot of noise. And so you heard my remarks that this was not on. This is not the way one conducts himself in a city council meeting, and respect had to be given for the meeting. So there was basic rules. You weren't going to chant, you weren't going to applaud, you weren't going to interrupt, you weren't going to be using your cell phone in the gallery. You were going to be quiet, respectful, and respect the fact that the sole place for discussion would be when people come forward and they share their views, whatever their views are, and that it was important that respect be given not just to the people who express your own points of view, but the people who are on the opposite side of the question.
Mm-hmm. And can you tell us what exactly is the motion? What is Richmond Council looking to do?
In essence, the essential part of the motion is to do a practicability study or have Vancouver Coastal Health do that kind of analysis to see whether a safe consumption site would be the right answer for the city of Richmond, whether it's justified, whether it should go forward, what are the practical effects of that, what would have to be done, and how would the procedure go. Ultimately, if it was found to be a good idea, it would be Vancouver Coastal Health's project. They would make application to the Health Canada to get the necessary permissions. They would fund it, and it would be located at the hospital.
Okay. What do you make of the opposition then?
The opposition has some very deeply held views, and they're entitled to have those views. They're strongly held. They want to vocalize them. They're entitled to their opinion. Ultimately, we know that it's a very difficult and controversial question. And wherever you land on that question, there's going to be a lot of people that don't like your solution, and a lot of people will be in favor of it.
Okay, and this will continue because now you've voted for the motion, and then moving forward with the process, asking Vancouver Coastal Health, asking staff to assess the feasibility. There are views on the idea of a supervised consumption site, but also there were concerns about a lack of consultation. One resident said it was rushed through. The premier was asked about it yesterday, and he says he was still trying to get a handle on this and why Richmond is bringing this forward now. Has this been sprung on the public? What do you make of the process and those concerns that this has been rushed through?
This is typical process. There's nothing unusual about it. A couple of the councillors felt strongly about this, and they brought it forward. They brought it by putting it onto the agenda of a general purposes committee meeting. We heard from a number of delegations at that time, had a very full discussion, and 8 of 9 were in favor of it at that time. So the procedure is it goes from that general purposes advisory committee, it comes to council, and that's what happened. So there's nothing unusual.
Except for the incredibly vocal backlash that it's had. And the debate has gotten ugly as well, right? You've had your councillor Kash Heed saying he's been getting threats, he's being called a racist. There was an interaction wherein someone who was opposed to the idea was being told, you don't belong here. How do you feel about the way this discourse has gone in your community?
Well, I think that it's unfortunate that the whole discussion has been characterized by such vitriol, but that it's that kind of a question. So, if we had 2 months notice of it, you would end up with that very same discussion. The people who were there last night saying there was no consultation, but we listened to about 70 or 80, 90 people. So it wasn't as though we didn't hear from the public. It's been fully discussed. And again, there's 2 sides of it. And as passionately as the negative side is, those who are in favor of it feel it's absolutely critical. And the bottom line is that will save lives. And those, the numbers of overdose deaths in our city, the number is rising. And so it behooves us to do something about it. And if we can. Now, we have a limited jurisdiction, but we can entertain the discussions with Vancouver Coastal Health.
Do you see this as becoming part of the larger political debate over supervised consumption sites?
Larger political debate with whom?
With regard to national politicians, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre tweeted the clip of the racist tirade from the meeting, from outside the meeting. And there is a discussion and debate, around the province and elsewhere around safe supply and supervised consumption sites. Do you see this, what's happening in Richmond becoming part of that?
I suppose it's going to be part of that because the problem is getting worse, not better. And so we have to try and analyze where we should be going and how to get a handle on this problem and hopefully get some real solutions.
How do you plan to deal with the division in your community moving forward?
This is not unprecedented. We've had, I can think of a couple of incidents over the years, usually involving drug or alcohol situations. I know that time will help out a lot. Discussion will help out a lot. There will be a lot of discussion about it. We will heal as a community.
Mayor Brody, thank you very much.
Anytime, thank you.
Malcolm Brody, the mayor of Richmond. 12:16 now, 1:16 in the Mountain Time Zone. This is BC Today. Well, the BC and federal governments are spending money to improve seniors' health care, with the province getting $733 million over the next 5 years. Part of the plan is to work to improve home care. And we spoke with outgoing BC seniors advocate Isabel McKenzie, and we got these emails. Vince writes from Tawasin, I'm a senior with a disability. I'm supposed to get a half hour of care twice a week from Fraser Health. It is very unreliable, with missed visits, times being changed without notice, and a revolving door of different care workers. It has been this way for years, and letters from them promising more consistent care has been a false promise. I don't know what the answer is. Marjorie writes, you ask what it would take for older people to be able to age in place in a supported and respectful manner. Think of what you yourself would say right now to that question. You will need different care for your physical aging, but please stop dividing people into us and them. We are all going to get there. And Catherine writes from Kelowna, I'm the sole caregiver for my husband who has dementia. He's frequently angry and blames me for everything. Despite some physical challenges of my own, the really hard part is mental and emotional. I'd like to have a holiday, but have been told there's no guarantee that the respite is available at a given time. This makes planning for travel impossible, so I'm unable to have a break from the turmoil that is my life. And Jean writes, for the past decade, I've been supporting my aged parents. Neither could or would use home support because neither wanted strangers in their home. My mother needs help to bathe, but was adamantly against it. She's a very private person. Thank you so much for your emails. You can send them to us at bctoday@cbc.ca. Thanks so much for your patience. We've been trying to connect with our guest who's about to speak, or we were going to speak with, about talking to your partner about finances, tackling that tough topic, but you do need to in order to have a good relationship. So in light of Valentine's Day, we were going to have a conversation about that. So we're trying to get that together for you, but we do also have another Valentine's conversation, and that is around cooking meals together, of course. That may be something that's a cheap alternative to going out to an expensive restaurant, and very romantic as well. It needs cooperation. You need to get along, I guess, to be able to cook together. So we want to hear from you. You know, what are the meals that you like to make with your partner? And if you have a tip for how to be able to cooperate in the kitchen, you can let us know as well, because there is pressure to create that perfect dish, right? Because you want the perfect night. Well, we have you as well. We have some tips here for you with Chef Des. But let's give out the phone numbers: 1-800-825-5950, 604-669-3733. You can hit pound 690 on your cell phone. By email, bctoday@cbc.ca. You can text us now too, and that number is 236-330-2623, 236-330-2623. Text us your favorite meal that you like to make with your partner, and how do you make it all run smoothly in the kitchen. Let's introduce now someone who has lots of ideas for you. Chef Des is a culinary instructor and food columnist, and he joins me here in studio with some very delicious smelling treats. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I am very well.
Awesome.
Look at you. You've got these books here. You've got your
Absolutely.
ingredients. What makes a good Valentine's meal for you, do you think?
You know what? The person you're with needs to be the most important thing. My beautiful wife, Catherine, I wouldn't have it any other way. But, you know, create something that's tasty that you both love. But if you're trying to impress somebody else, like their favorite dish, and if that's out of your realm of capabilities, you can even like buy parts of it and then have other parts that you've assembled yourself just to complete it. So if somebody's, I'm just throwing this out there, somebody's favorite thing is butter chicken,
Yeah.
and you have no idea how to make that, it's okay to buy that one part and then add a nice salad, add a nice dessert that you've created.
I like that. I do love butter chicken.
Yeah,
That's
it's
for
awesome.
sure. Yes. And you talked about impressing the other person. We often have those images, right, of someone just like their hair is all askew and they're trying to get something together. Maybe they end up with a turkey on their head as they're trying to
You
put
got
together.
it.
Yeah, that's right. Just think of those rom-coms, right? But
Yeah.
why do we put so much pressure on ourselves for that romantic dinner?
Well, you want everything be perfect, right? I
Yeah.
mean, this is a special day for people that are in love. And you know what? Even if you're not in love, it's still a special day. Why not just celebrate yourself? And just, you want to make it special. So you're really making that pressure to make everything perfect. But you know what? If that person loves you, they're not going to care if something's not exactly right. So just, you need to take a deep breath, relax, put on some nice music, and do some prep.
Yes, I have to give it up to my husband, who will always say that was delicious, even though I'm pretty sure it wasn't really. So thank you to him for that. And I know you have some tips for us. Tell me about how you got started in cooking.
Very early age, my mom was a single mom for a number of years. And so with 4 kids, she needed all the help she could get. So any help she could get in the kitchen, she would just welcome, and she'd push the stool up to the countertop. I remember probably earliest memory, I was probably about 5 or 6 years old, and standing on the stool and making pies. Like chip dip used to come out of metal containers. I'm dating myself.
Really?
And I'd make the little tiny pies in the old chip dip containers while she made the big pies and stuff like that. And
Oh,
I was never into sports as a kid, and I would rather be at home cooking than, you know, being at school with you know, playing sports or baseball or anything like that, right?
well, that worked out for you, though.
Absolutely, yeah.
There you go. Chef Des is with me with some ideas for romantic meals you can make together with your loved one. We're asking you as well, what is your favorite meal to make together, and how do you make sure things go smoothly in the kitchen? Then you actually have fun while cooking together. Love to hear from you. 1-800-825-5950, 604-669-3733. You can hit pound 690 on your cell phone as well. By email, bctoday@cbc.ca. And you can text us, 236-330-2623. 66223. Maybe you have a special meal planned for tonight. Tell us all about it. Lori is joining us from Souk. Hi, Lori. What's your favorite romantic meal? Hi, Lori. Oh, we have lost our connection with Lori. I apologize for that. But she was going to talk about pizza.
Ah, nice.
Which is so great. They do well because there are different things to do. If you're in a smaller space, it's important to spread yourself out, and then you can go and enjoy your wine and beer. But that's a really good one, I think, because it's assembling.
Yes, very hands-on.
Very, very hands-on. That's right.
And you can even make the pizza like heart-shaped if you wanted to, right?
Yeah. Pardon me. And let's see here. I don't know if we do have Lori on the line now. Hi, Lori.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks so much for calling in. Tell us about the pizza and why it's your favorite.
Yes, well, you know what? We do enjoy our own pizza. And so I think that it's important that you have room in your kitchen to spread out and do your work together. We have a small kitchen, but we make do quite well. And my dear one chops vegetables very fine these days after a little bit of training. And I will go and we make that pizza and we get it in the oven, and maybe we have a bit of wine as the pizza is baking, and then we enjoy that pizza. So there you go, my tips. Spread out in the kitchen. Have fun while you're working on different aspects of your meal that you know is going to be good.
What are your favorite toppings, Lori?
Oh gosh, you know what? We do a lot of vegetarian.
Yeah.
So certainly different kinds of veggies and artichoke heart.
Oh, nice.
I have to ask you the age-old question, though. Is it pineapple or no pineapple?
Oh, gosh. You know, the next thing I was going to say was the next favorite is ham and pineapple.
There we go.
There you go.
No debate in your household over that.
No debate. My dear one enjoys it all. Yes.
Pizza harmony,
Awesome.
ham and pineapple harmony.
Yes,
Lori,
he's fine with it all. Yeah, he is.
so great to have you on the show. Thanks so much for calling in.
Well, I've got a big smile on my face. Thank you. It's a great little show.
Happy Valentine's
Awesome.
Day.
Yes. Happy Valentine's Day.
Love to hear from you. What's your favorite meal to make together? And I love that tip, too, of giving each other space.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I love to cook, and I actually love the prep part of it as well. And I have everything all portioned out, and I put on some nice music, have a nice drink, and embrace it. Cooking's not going to go away. It's never going to go, unless you win the Lotto Max on Friday,
No,
then it
not
can go
likely.
away.
Yeah.
But that's a $1 in $27 million or 1 in 27 million chance, right? So embrace cooking.
Embrace cooking and try to enjoy it as well. I love that. Put the pizza in, put on the music, have your beer and wine together.
You got it.
You can call us too, 1-800-825-5950, 604-669-3733. You can hit pound 690 on your cell phone. And by text, if you want to text us the meal that you like to make together and any tips for making sure things go smoothly, 236-330-2623. And we're going into the news update in a little while, but after that, we'll have you making something for us. Can you give it a sneak preview?
Yeah, we're going to be doing a salad, and we're going to sort of convert a couple things to make it special for Valentine's Day. So you and I will be doing a little bit of hands-on and working with some Parmigiano Reggiano and some fresh strawberries.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm ready. Got my hands.
Awesome.
I'm pretending I'm washing my hands right now. Chef Des is with me, and we are going to take your calls. He's a Red Seal chef and culinary instructor. You can find him at chefdes.com. Love to hear from you. What are your favorite meals to make together? That is our conversation on the open line. And coming up after this CBC News update, and here now is Zara Premji.
Good afternoon. Researchers say the extreme cold snap last month in the Okanagan may have wiped out most of the region's grape crop this year. A new report by the Wines of BC Industry Group estimates 97 to 99% loss. The report used data from the Agriculture Canada's Summerland Research and Development Centre. Researchers say they looked at 200 vines and none of them survived. And there's some royalty in town. Prince Harry and his wife Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, are in Whistler today, supporting 60 Invictus Games participants in training camps. The games for injured or sick service personnel and veterans from around the world will be held a year from now in Whistler and Vancouver. Prince Harry, who founded the games, is expected to meet with some of the participants during a 3-day visit in Whistler and Vancouver. These games will be the first time winter sports will be featured, including Nordic and alpine skiing and wheelchair curling. Now the BC weather from Environment Canada, starting with the North Coast, pretty sunny, windy at times, a high of 7. For the Peace region, it's looking pretty sunny as well. Today's high sitting near 0. For the central interior, you guessed it, sunny as well, feeling like -12 though with that wind chill. For the Boundary and Kootenay regions, mainly sunny as well and a high of 2. For the Okanagan and southern interior, sunny as well, a high to 3. Metro Vancouver, Greater Victoria and the Fraser Valley, Mr. Sun is sticking around, winds gusting at times to 50 kilometers an hour, and that high to 9. That's your CBC News from Vancouver.
I am about to make something yummy
Yes.
for Valentine's Day with a chef.
And
Yeah.
hopefully
Are
some
you jealous?
leftovers.
Yes.
I'm very jealous. I'm not too far from you, though, so I
that's
can eat
true.
those leftovers.
You can take a detour on your way to your desk. Do you have a favorite meal? What gives off romance?
Romance, sadness, happiness. It's always sushi, Michelle. It's always sushi.
No matter what, sushi is hits the right mood.
But I think you and I had discussed this earlier. The sushi has to be small. It can't be that really
true.
messy big roll, and
That's-
it's not romantic.
That's not pretty. No.
Some miso soup and
Stuffing
tiny
a huge
sushi.
piece of that's right. No, that's true. The little mackies are good.
Yes,
You know what I also
exactly.
like are skewers.
Ooh.
I think because you mentioned some Malaysian food when we were
Yes,
chatting. I
yes,
love
of
little
course.
skewers, and you dip them, and you just
And a
kind
little
of take
peanut
little bites.
satay sauce.
Yes.
Oh, you might be planning my dinner
Satay.
tonight.
Yes, sushi and satay.
Oh, hey, we could have a podcast named that.
I'm coming over. That
Deal.
sounds great. Yeah, small bites.
Yeah, you bring your partner. You're welcome.
Yeah, he eats a lot. You better prepare.
Done.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll be bringing leftovers from the show.
Zara, thanks so much.
Thank
Happy
you.
Valentine's to you.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Zara Premji in the CBC Vancouver newsroom. Welcome back. You're with BC Today here on CBC. We're on Radio 1, CBC Television, and live streaming as well. You can find us on YouTube at CBC Vancouver or on our website, cbc.ca/BC. You can also use the CBC News app. And I'm standing right now because I am about to prepare something very delicious. Chef Des is with me, a Red Seal chef and culinary instructor. He's been good enough to come up with some ideas for us for romantic meals you can make with your partner. And we've been talking about your own favorites and your tips for getting along in the kitchen. That can be a challenge, especially in small spaces. So we want to hear what you do to make sure things go smoothly and that you have fun. What are your plans for tonight? Are you making a special meal? Give us a call, 1-800-825-5950, 604-669-3733. You can hit pound 690 on your cell phone. If you want to email us, it's bctoday@cbc.ca. And you can also send us a text, and that number is 236-330-2623. 236-330-2623. And Felix wrote us, my partner and I have been together for 10 years. We met in university and have grown into adults together. He completes and supports me in so many ways. Oh, my heart.
So nice.
And in return, I've been teaching him how to cook. I also love him very much. Yes, of course you do. I find the key in the kitchen is the same as the key in all other parts of a successful relationship. Communicate exactly what you need from your partner. Be supportive and positive when they don't know what to do and need help. Teach them, don't humiliate them. And most importantly, when mistakes are made, you laugh it off and say, that's okay. Yes, that's right. If you burn the chicken a little bit, that's okay. You are learning together. And that's the best part of growing together. Love each other, make mistakes, laugh together, and support each other while you navigate this crazy world with your best friend. Oh, have you ever summed it up? Thank you very much. And that is from Felix and Daniel. A very happy Valentine's to you. Oh, that was so heartwarming.
So nice.
Support each other. Chef Des, what are we going to make?
We're going to make a little salad today. So we're just
right.
going to kick it up a notch for Valentine's Day. So
Yes.
it's a strawberry feta and almond salad, and we're going to do a Parmesan crisp as well. Parmesan crisps are amazing, and most people don't even know how to make them. So
No,
we're going
I
to
know.
show you here at CBC how to make a Parmesan crisp, and it's like dead easy, like so simple.
Okay,
All
I'm
right,
ready.
so this is what we're going to do. So you can make them any shape you want, but guess what shape we're going to do for Valentine's Day?
I'm going to guess a heart.
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Absolutely. So you just take a baking sheet, preheat your oven at 400 degrees, and take a quarter cup of finely grated Parmigiano Reggiano, the real stuff.
It's got to be the
okay?
good stuff.
And we're just going to make a little mound for you, and we're going
Okay.
to make a little mound for me. We're going to have a little heart-shaping contest here
Oh, no.
at CBC.
Okay,
and we're going to
I'm
see how
not-
good your skills
Yes.
are, okay?
Wasn't very good at crafts, but here we go. So he's poured 2 mounds of grated Parmigiano Reggiano on this baking
Let
sheet.
me go first, and then you can sort of see what I'm doing. So you have
Okay.
a mound, a quarter cup of cheese here, right? And then you just want to flatten it out a little bit. And you can make this into a circle if you feel so inclined. You don't want to have the challenge of making a heart. And then you can make it into a square,
I like how you have
rectangle.
faith in me. Yeah.
You picked up on that, right? Okay, so what we're going to do is just shape it the way we want. You just want like a nice, even layer,
You're
right?
making a point at the bottom
Making
for the
a little
heart.
point at
Yeah.
the bottom. Okay. And you don't want it too thick. You want it spread out a little bit, but you don't want it
Okay.
too thin either. So a quarter cup is a nice, big,
Oh,
crisp.
look how big it got.
Yeah.
Okay. You've really spread it out there.
And what
yeah.
you can do, if you find that it spreads out a little bit in the oven, which it will a touch, right when it first comes out, you can use a silicone spatula to reshape it a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, it's
So
a
you
little
have,
bit soft
yeah,
when
you
it comes
have
out then.
about 10 seconds to do that with after it comes out. No panicking here, right? And there's my heart. Look at that.
Oh, that is
So,
beautiful.
well, it's not bad for a chef, eh?
Yeah, not bad at all. Okay.
So let's put you up to the
Is
challenge.
it my turn?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Now, you did spread it out.
Yeah, so put in like a little circle first,
Little
but it doesn't
circle,
really matter.
little circle,
Make sure
okay.
you have no
See?
holes in there.
I've already got holes in there. Oh, but what would happen if I had holes?
Well, you'd have a hole in the end when
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it came out of the oven, and it may not hold together as well. But
Right. Okay, so you want to make sure it's all filled in.
correct.
I think I've made it as flat as I can.
All right, sounds good. Yeah,
All
looks
right,
good.
I do have some holes. I'm going to fix that. And now I'm going to make the little indentation at the top for the heart.
You got it.
It's a little bumpy. She's a little lumpy. Okay.
Hey, it's real life, right? It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, I want to make it as the point at the there. I think that is pretty darn good. It
Pretty
looks like
darn
a
good
heart.
for your first try.
It
First
looks
time
like a
making a
heart.
Parmesan crisp?
Oh my goodness,
Is it?
yes.
And then what we're going to do for Valentine's Day is a little bit of smoked paprika. We're not going to make it like completely red, but just add
Yeah.
a little bit of color to it.
Oh, love
right? But you
that.
can do this with any sort of little spice that you have.
Sprinkling the
you just wanna do a
paprika
little
on
bit of,
top.
You know, pepper. You could do that, right? It's totally up to you, but you can smell that, right? It smells awesome.
I sure can.
Anytime you're working with paprika, go with smoked paprika. So much more flavor,
Just
so much more aroma to it, right? And it's-
Amp it up a little bit. Dawn actually wrote us and said, my husband is a Red Seal chef, but
Awesome.
no longer practicing professionally. He does most of the cooking at home. I do the cleanup. Match
Oh,
made in
there
heaven.
you go. Absolutely. That's
Yin
great.
and yang. Yeah, you've got your roles all set up, Dawn. Thank you very much. bctoday@cbc.ca is our email. Okay.
All right.
So here
Through
we
the
go.
magic of television,
Yes.
we're going to pop this in the oven.
Okay.
And 5 minutes at 400 degrees. And this is what you get.
I'm turning the dial up. Okay.
Look
Ding.
at that.
The timer has gone off.
Beautiful.
Look how beautiful it looks. Can I
And
hold it up?
Absolutely. So it's
Oh my
nice
gosh.
and delicate and
It is.
fragile, but it's
Yeah.
crispy and it's such amazing texture and flavor to add to your salad, right?
Oh, it smells divine.
Isn't that so good?
Oh my goodness, like
And
cheesy
so easy.
and smoky.
And you
look,
don't even have to do the smoked paprika. And if you don't
So
do the smoked
cute.
paprika, it's one ingredient, 400 degrees, 5 minutes. That's it.
This is very cute. Would you put something on top, or oh, you're going to put this on top
So
of
we're
the
going to
salad?
put that on top of the salad
Yeah.
when we're done. So we have
Lovely.
one more thing that we're going to do
Okay.
hands-on. Are you
All
ready
right.
for this?
I am so ready.
Okay, all right. Let's tuck these away for now.
Thank you very much for having
right.
faith in me.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We'll just put this all our oven down here, right? Make sure the oven's
It's
off now that
magic.
those are done. And we have our
We have our
salads here.
salads here, mixed greens.
And what
a
we're going
nice
to
big
do,
mound.
so as I mentioned, this is a strawberry, feta, and almond salad. So
All
we're going
things
to
I
take
love.
yeah, absolutely. I planned that for you. I knew ahead of time what you
That's
love,
right.
Michelle,
She
and
looks
here
like
I
an
am to
almond
satisfy.
person.
All right, so strawberries already, sort of when you cut them, they're kind of heart-shaped, right?
Yes.
Already, but if you want to kick it up a notch, if you happen to have a little heart-shaped
Yes, if
cookie
you make
cutter,
cookies,
you
yeah.
can take that.
Oh, how
and-
nice. How cute.
And you can make the perfect heart shape.
Oh my goodness,
look at that.
this.
And you
This
can
is
garnish your salads with that.
adorable. And it's
for
already
Valentine's
red.
Day. Absolutely.
smells
So
so
this is great because sometimes, let me show you one. Sometimes you get a strawberry that has like a lighter
Right.
green or
Yes,
whatever
the
to
ends
it.
are, yeah.
So you can take your cutter and you can cut just the red part and you can make it, that much better. And this other part doesn't go to waste. Chop that up and you can make like a little strawberry salsa or something.
Oh,
with that, right?
nice. Yes.
Amazing things you can do with that. Top it on top of a dessert the next day or whatever you want to do, right? Put it on top of your cereal in the morning, add it to oatmeal, you know what I mean? We're not wasting anything, right? So
That is big. That is a big deal. Yeah.
yeah. So here, I'm gonna give you this cutter and see if you can make
Oh,
some on
yes.
here. And
Okay.
then we're gonna start garnishing these salads with this. And it's just a little something
you hear
extra
that?
you can do, right?
Sound of the cookie cutter cutting into the strawberry. Oh, I'm very proud of my hearts.
Look at that.
These are nice.
Beautiful, right? So fun, so fun. And it's all about just finding different ways in the kitchen, at the table, to celebrate different occasions. So go to your dollar
Yes,
store, right?
yes.
And buy some little heart-shaped confetti that you can put on the table.
Oh, yes.
Maybe some silk rose petals, right? If you
Doesn't have
if
to be
you-
expensive.
No, absolutely. And if you don't drink wine or you don't want to pay the price of wine, just some red grape juice in a wine glass looks fantastic at the
Oh,
table.
wow,
Don't forget
yes. Oh.
the candles at the table too. And probably my one biggest pointer that costs you nothing is make sure that when you have your table set, you're going to have that nice romantic evening, take the time to clear the clutter away. When you have everyday clutter like
Yes.
sitting around you,
Oh,
it doesn't feel romantic. It feels like another day.
no. I have laptops, homework, mail that hasn't been attended to, all sitting on my dining table.
Absolutely. So clear that all off and, make it special. Make it light the
Yes,
candles,
make it a
put out your
special
good
night.
china, your crystal glasses. I mean, we're here to live life, folks.
Yeah.
We're here to celebrate life. And if a crystal glass gets broken in there, that's what it's there for. Not to break, but to use, folks. And not sitting there in your china cabinet to look nice. Use them and celebrate life together. That's what it's all about, right?
Well, it sounds like you have so much passion, right, for cooking. And
I
you
love
do, of course, you teach people how to cook. You've got your books,
Yes.
Cooking Around the World, Chef Desk Cooks with BC Eggs. You have your YouTube and TV appearances as well.
Absolutely.
What pushes you to keep sharing your message?
Well, you know what? Like I said, touched on it just briefly earlier. We all have kitchens. You're going to have a kitchen for the rest of your life, no matter where you live. You're always going to eat food. Cooking is
Yeah.
never going to go away. We can turn that into a chore if we want to,
Right.
but that's just you turning into a chore.
Yeah.
Cooking can be positive, like it is for me. How can it be positive for one person and negative for another person? Not that I'm pointing at you, but it's because you made it that way. Cooking's not going to go away. You may as well embrace it. So find a way to make it fun. Put on some music, pour a nice
Yes.
drink, have a little dance with your partner as you're prepping. Don't get stressed out. There's so many things in this world, as we know, to get stressed out about. Cooking is not one of them. Cooking is life, food is life, and it feeds us. And the greatest thing about cooking is, even if you have no desire to get in the kitchen at all, none, you hate cooking, I can still make something and you still have taste buds, and you can taste that, and you're like, wow,
Yes, you can
that tastes
appreciate it.
awesome, right?
Yeah.
So no matter who you're cooking for, they can appreciate your craft.
I'm inspired.
Awesome, awesome, that's great. Yeah, check out the YouTube channel. I do monthly Zoom classes. Check it out at chefdes.com. My YouTube channel is blowing up. I got hundreds of videos on there on cooking, how to do anything, how to deglaze a pan and why you should. I mean, you name it, I have it on there. Check it out.
Oh, Chef Des, what a pleasure to have you. Thank you very much. Shall we put some more cheese on our salad?
Yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the feta cheese now.
Yes.
So we have a little bit of feta. So I like to create not only presentation in the way of, height, as we have the mounds here with greens, but colors as well. So we have red.
That's true.
We have green, we have white, right? Some nice feta cheese.
I love feta cheese.
You can
Yes.
crumble this as fine as you want to. And then we're gonna make a very simple dressing. And chances are, you probably only have to maybe pick up the strawberries. Everything else, you probably have at home already.
Right.
Let me show you this. Okay, very, very simple dressing. We're doing some extra virgin olive oil. I believe the recipe is gonna be on your website. Is that correct?
We can email them to people as well if you want to just email us,
Absolutely,
and we can
great.
send it back to you. Thank you for sharing that.
So we're doing a little simple oil and vinegar. So red wine vinegar in with our extra virgin olive oil.
Okay.
We have, I'm gonna bring my spatula out for this one, some liquid honey. So we always wanna balance the acid. Anytime you're working with acidic ingredients, you need to have a little bit of sweetness. So we're gonna go with some nice honey in there. And you're also gonna get some of the sweetness in the strawberries in the salad too. Don't
Right.
forget about that, right? And they're gonna be extra sweet because they're heart-shaped, right? And then a little bit of mustard. We got some Dijon mustard. Now this is gonna be our emulsifier. That's gonna help hold the dressing together so it doesn't split and separate at the table. All right, anytime
Okay.
you're working with anything made with mustard seed or egg yolk, that's a true emulsifier.
Egg yolk.
Yeah.
Okay. That I haven't, I wasn't aware of. Okay. Olive
So making
oil.
like a Caesar salad dressing.
Yeah.
Always egg yolk. If you come across a Caesar salad dressing recipe that tells you to add 1 raw egg, don't do it. 2 egg yolks instead. Egg whites do nothing for the emulsification process, nothing at all.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't listen to the egg white.
Egg whites are so good. That's where most of the, well, I'd say most of the protein, a lot of the protein is, and no fat. It's the fat's all on the yolk, but the yolk is what emulsifies.
2 yolks.
So a little salt,
Okay. Stir, stir, stir.
Stir,
Whisk,
stir,
whisk,
stir.
whisk.
and put a nice little measuring cup here. Well, a big measuring cup, but so we can just pour it on the salad. And that amount is a lot of dressing for the 2 salads, so you have some left over.
Okay.
And we're just gonna do this and drizzle, drizzle,
Drizzling
drizzle.
on top. Very
yeah,
nice.
and it'll get
Oh,
mixed
my
up
goodness.
as you dive into it, as you're getting into it with your fork. It'll get all mixed up. Don't sit there and toss all the greens with the dressing because it'll become all wilted and will all flat on the plate, right? So build it nice and high,
It
pour the
smells so
dressing over
good.
top. Thank you very much. We're gonna do a little toasted almonds. So I toasted these in a pan ahead of time. Brings out the flavor, brings out more of that nice golden color on them. We're gonna add some fresh cracked pepper because strawberries and fresh cracked pepper, if you haven't tried that combination
Yes.
yet, is amazing. So some large grind, fresh cracked pepper on top of there.
Slivered almonds.
Absolutely, yeah.
Fresh cracked
And when you do
pepper.
the almonds, do them in a pan. Don't do them in the oven, because almonds, high fat, chances are out of sight, out of mind, you're going to burn them.
Oh no, you don't
Nobody
want
wants
that.
to burn your
Yeah.
almonds, right?
Okay.
And
So how long in a pan then?
till they're done. Till they're
Okay.
done. So, I would
How
go
do I
medium
know?
heat, but if they're in a pan, you can see them, you can smell them.
Okay.
You can even hear them sometimes sort of cracking in the pan. So you just shuffle them in the pan, and when they look good, take them out. And as soon as they're done, transfer them into a bowl so they're out of that hot pan, okay?
Right. You don't want it to keep cooking.
And then we're gonna take our Parmesan crisps. Let's not forget about that.
No, no, no.
I'm gonna hand you yours.
Thank you very much.
There's your Valentine for me right there.
It's like a savory cookie.
And what you can do, if you build your salad high enough, you can sort of prop it in the center like that,
Yes.
right? Or you can put it off to the side,
Standing.
whatever you want, whatever you want to
See if I
do.
can do this.
Get your fingers dirty there a
Yeah.
little bit. And like that.
Oh, look at that. I think I can do it. I think I can do it. Yes.
You did it. Oh, perfect.
Propping up. Oh, look at that. It's nice and it's just sitting atop the bed of greens
Awesome.
with the strawberries. And you can break it off and just bite into it, I guess.
And
before
nothing
it gets
says I
salad.
love you more than putting that in front of your spouse. Well, I guess you could say I love you as well as this. That says I love you.
But look at this. Oh.
Isn't that amazing?
And it says a little bit of surprise too, because I made you a salad, but look at this on top.
Absolutely.
It's something.
And everybody loves that, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's cheese.
Yeah, it's
You-
cheese.
You had me at cheese.
Golden cheese. How can you go wrong, right?
What's your favorite meal to make with your wife?
With my wife, anything. My favorite meal by myself, well, even when I'm making for other people, is pasta. I love pasta.
Yeah.
Pasta is a blank canvas. You can do anything with it. And there's so many different shapes, textures. My favorite one is probably linguine and anchovies. And it sounds terrible. To some people, it sounds terrible, but it's just really simple, like some freshly cooked linguine with some olive oil, a whole can of anchovies chopped up, some fresh garlic in there.
Oh my goodness.
And it's fantastic. A little salt, fresh cracked pepper, and a sprinkle of parsley, and you're done. And it just coats the pasta, and you get all these flavors. Like anchovies are a great secret ingredient. If you're pan frying some chicken, folks, just put an anchovy fillet in there, just one, and it'll dissolve in there. And because you're just doing one, people aren't going to taste fish. They're just going to have this nice umami background flavor in your dish and the sauce, and they'll have no idea. And you're going to be a superstar of the theater.
Yeah, and not
Absolutely.
reveal your secret ingredient.
No, never. Here, I just told everybody in BC.
Yeah, that's right.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, yeah, people are taking notes. I am sure of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what I love about pasta is you can play with the shapes. You can choose a different kind of shape that's kind of fun, whether it's linguine or rotini or penne and whatnot. I know.
And then a spoon and a fork and twirl it if you
Oh
want
my
to.
goodness.
Slurp it if you want to.
Yes.
But never cut your long pasta.
No.
Don't take your knife and fork and cut all. Go make some macaroni, right? Don't cut the long pasta.
Get it right. Yes, that just takes me right to the movies, right? Those most romantic scenes.
Absolutely.
This also feels like a movie. Dawn actually wrote us back and said, tonight we are having lobster, scallops, prawns, and grilled vegetables for Valentine's, and our 2 daughters will join us. And the same too, our kids join us as well. That sounds
same here.
just decadent.
Yeah. Amazing.
Seafood's really great too, like sushi, because you can kind of pick it up and it's one bite. And I'm
right.
big on the non-messy meals
True.
for Valentine's.
Absolutely.
And so your favorite is pasta. What about your wife? Does she also like to cook? Or?
She loves. We actually met at one of my cooking classes. So I teach cooking classes live as well, in person. And this was years and years ago. I was doing a California roll class, and she came in, and I was single at the time, and she was single at the time, and she made sure I knew she was single, and I made sure that she knew that I was single. And you know what? She ended up asking me out in the end because being the teacher, like I had her name and her phone number, that's kind of creepy if I called her, right?
Yeah.
So I just said before she left, here's my card. You have my card, right? And so that night she paced back and forth, and I heard about this afterwards. She says, should I call? Should I not call? Should I call? And she did. And she said, that wasabi today was kind of hot. I want to know if you want to go for a drink. I thought, wow, how creative. I love that.
Talk
so
about
ever
a
since then, sparks flew and, white picket fence, minivan, kids,
how
dog.
lovely.
Yeah.
And it all started with making California rolls.
You got it.
Yeah, sushi. Again, we're going back to the most romantic sushi dinners.
That's right.
Chef Des, what a pleasure to have you today. Thank you for teaching me how to make this.
Thank you for having me. I hope you
beautiful
guys
salad.
enjoyed this and you have a fantastic Valentine's Day. All you guys out there and you as well. And make a Parmesan crisp for your husband tonight.
I think I will. Let me take a
should.
bite.
Yeah. Let me know how it is.
Did you hear that crispiness, that crunch? Oh my
fantastic.
goodness. That is delicious.
2 ingredients. That's it. 2 ingredients. And you don't even have to do this paprika if you don't want to. But everybody has paprika. Even if it's just regular paprika, you have that in your spice rack.
Sitting
right?
in the back of your cabinet, that's for sure. Great to speak with you. Thank you so much.
And you as well.
What
Thank
a
you.
pleasure.
Thank
Chef
you, guys.
Des. He's a Red Seal chef and culinary instructor. $12:54 now, 1:54 in the Mountain Time Zone. This is BC Today here on CBC. We do have some breaking news for you right now. Kansas City police say shots have been fired during the Super Bowl Victory Day parade. The CBC's Katie Simpson has the latest.
Understand this is an evolving investigation, but the parade, the victory parade for the Kansas City Chiefs was coming to an end. There were thousands and thousands of people lining the streets to participate in this celebration when just a short time ago shots were fired. What we understand from reports from the ground is that multiple people have been injured and that 2 people are in custody. We do not know the extent of the injuries, but there have been some incredibly dramatic pictures coming out of this scene showing first responders providing first aid to a number of the injured. The way they were providing that first aid does suggest it was quite serious, the nature of the injuries. But again, we are waiting to hear official confirmation from officials on the ground as to exactly what they're dealing with. Right now, much of the area has been cordoned off. You can see from this live chopper shot over the scene right now, police have put up tape, put up fencing around a part of the crime scene, and people were asked to immediately leave the station. This parade was just wrapping up and people were already starting to leave the area, but the images that came from the scene shortly after showed a frantic scene as people were rushing away. We don't know anything about what led up to the moment or what may have been the motivation of this, whether this was a targeting of the parade, whether this was some sort of dispute. We're still waiting to hear any sort of information from police about exactly what led to this moment. But what we understand from officials on the ground is that multiple people are injured in this moment after shots were fired near the area of the celebration, the victory parade for the Kansas City Chiefs. People have been asked to leave the area. We've seen images of first responders providing intense first aid for those who've injured. We don't know how many people are injured or the extent of their injury, but we do understand that at least 2 people are in custody at this time.
That's a CBC's Katie Simpson. And once again, shots were fired at the end of Kansas City's Super Bowl parade, injuring 8 to 10 people, according to a fire official. And the fire department battalion chief, Michael Hopkins, declined further comment, but saying only that additional information will be released soon. Police said in a news release that 2 people were detained and fans were urged to exit the area as quickly as possible. You can see more on that story on our website, cbc.ca/BC. We'll have much more for you throughout the day here, of course, on CBC. Once again, up to 10 people have been struck in this shooting at the Super Bowl victory parade in Kansas City. 2 people have been taken into custody. You can go on our website, cbc.ca/news, cbcnews.ca. You can use the CBC News app. And throughout the afternoon here on CBC Radio and on CBC Television tonight, we'll have much more for you on this developing story.